Thank you, Jane. Welcome, everybody. What a picturesque view that is out the window there. Just before we kick off, I'd really like everyone to put their hands together for Jane and her team on putting on this incredible day. Yet again, another great event. Well done, Jane. Okay, C29, uranium, Kazakhstan. Sounds a little bit spicy, doesn't it? Yeah. I'm here today, and hopefully in my short 10 minutes you'll hear enough to understand what an incredible opportunity Kazakhstan actually is, and particularly for uranium. So Kazakhstan, C29 went live with our initial transaction on the Ulytau uranium project on March 20 of this year. That project has an historic foreign estimate. Now if you download our presentation, as Jane just gave you the instructions for, unfortunately in our formal presentation you won't find anything on the historic foreign estimate. And the reason for that is ASX listing rules prohibit us being able to further market the foreign estimate beyond the initial announcement. What you will find in that presentation is a link that takes you to that announcement, where you'll learn that our initial starting point with our first project area has 9.8 million pounds at just under 3,000 ppm. We have historic drill results running 7,000 ppm. So on a global standard, that is some of the best grade you're ever going to see in the uranium space. So that was a fantastic starting point for us and a big attraction to why we looked very hard at this project. Then we looked at Kazakhstan, largest uranium producer in the world, 43% of the market, thereabouts, and a stated aim to continue to grow that. So we saw an incredible opportunity in a country that supports development of uranium. Mission critical if you're going to try and develop uranium. And we all know some of the political problems in some jurisdictions of trying to explore or develop uranium. Okay, so that was the attraction for C29 to go in. Since then, we've hit the ground running. We've grown our project footprint significantly. We've identified what we believe to be a very large regional scale trend. Our initial project area is 15 kilometres south of one of the largest, if not largest, historic uranium mining operations of the Soviet era called Botabaram. Our initial project area is 15 kilometres south of that. We believe we're on trend, so we've pegged the ground that we can to the south of us following that trend and to the north of Botabaram. So we believe we've locked up a significant chunk of what we think a regional scale, very high grade uranium trend. So that's where we are today. We are now, I think the opportunity for you today is that, in fairness, we're probably one of the most undervalued uranium explorers on the ASX at the moment. And I don't think there'd be too many that would argue that case. And why is that so? There's a few reasons as we understand them. When we went live, the market was very, very clear. They wanted to see us be able to achieve getting a drill permit. Achieve something that no other foreign company has yet achieved, which is a drill permit in Kazakhstan to drill for uranium. About 2 weeks ago, we announced we'd met that hurdle. And that was a pretty big step for the company. We've received formal notification that we've met all criteria and we can begin to mobilise to gear up to start drilling. So that's happening right now. Okay, in terms of top line of the company, just to give you the understanding, structure, we've just done a recent placement. We raised 2.4 under our 7.1 capacity. And that took us about 174 million shares on issue with about 16 million oppies on issue. So a very, very tight capital structure, which is really important. So we're very well capitalised, very tight structure, fantastic project runway, a lot more ground in front of us now. So next year will be multi-tenement, multi-geological programs running across all of our ground. So we're in a very, very well position and we're well capitalised to do what we want to achieve. Now, the rules of engagement, and part of why we're the first, we've opened the door, others are now following. Part of the reason for that is, in the mining code or in the subsoil user code, there's a requirement that if you want to develop a uranium project in Kazakhstan and move from being an explorer to a developer, so from an EL to an ML, you need to be in joint venture, so in partnership with the national producer, Kazakhstan. That is the rules of engagement currently in the country. There's a few opportunities outside of that, but that is the rules of engagement. And we understood that very clearly from the beginning. And from the beginning, we've been working towards building the relationships and building the building blocks that will help us achieve that. I'm pretty proud to announce on Monday that we had signed an MOU with with Volkov Geology, who are 100% owned by Kazakhstan. So, not quite sure the market fully joined the dots together on our announcement on Monday. So I'm sort of trying to join the dots together now properly for people. We've entered into an MOU, and we're about to enter into a commercial agreement with the technical arm of the country's national producer. It's a pretty big step towards achieving the stated aim and the stated goal of needing to be in joint venture. Well, that means in less than 6 months, the company has gone from being unknown to being very well welcomed in country. Let me assure you, an MOU with Volkov is not signed without pretty senior government approval. So it was a very, very big step for the company to achieve, and to achieve it in 6 months, I think is tantamount to the operating environment in Kazakhstan, and also a pretty good measure of the team that you would be backing if you invest into C29. So just think about that. So where we are today, our goal is to have our diamond rigs running in November. We're in the south of the country. We're not too far from Kazakhstan's operations. They've got 14 current operating mines, so the largest operating uranium district in the world today. We're right in the mix of it. Now, we are about 3.5 hours due north of Almaty, which is the largest city in Kazakhstan. It's connected by a 4-lane highway most of the way. Beautiful road. Our site, you talk about the analogue of the perfect exploration site, that's our site. Perfect access road that we can just drive straight in on. There's not a tree in sight, there's not a hill, not a valley, not a mountain, not a river, not a lake, nothing, nada. Flat, drill ready to go. It is the perfect analogue. 3.5 hours out of the largest city in the country. We also have a local community about 20 kilometres from us, which again is a very good distance. And that's where we're forming our base of operations and establishing very, very good local relationships. We have a very good relationship with that community and the larger district communities in the area. And I think, again, very quickly, we've established really good working relationships that are mutually beneficial for both parties. So we're hoping in the coming weeks, we'll be mobilising diamond rigs to site. The contracts are currently being finalised right now. Permits have been applied for mobilisation of drilling equipment and so forth. And we hope to get going. Because we're in the south, we are blessed with a little bit better climate than in the north. But also because we've switched from RC to diamond drilling, we can drill through the winter. They have cabins and so forth for the crews to drill in, so we can drill into the winter. So we'll be drilling right up to Christmas. So we'll still achieve a similar number of drill metres that we'd always initially said when we'd hoped originally to get drilling in September. Unfortunately, that's been delayed just slightly, but we will still get that 2,000 to 3,000 metres of diamond drilling in to test the veracity of our historic results and show to the market that those results are true and accurate. So that's where we're at right today. Rigs are about to start spinning, and there's more happening in country. So I'd just like to thank everyone for coming today, listening, and I encourage you, download our presentation and have a look. We've only just got started. Thank you.